10 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
All right, welcome everyone
5 seconds
to
remaining.
a couple series that we're going to cast today. First of all, I'm Niz. Welcome to Nizcast.
Hello.
I've got a couple co-casters with me. I've got Goofy, who is just about to jump in there. Goofy, say hi to everyone.
Hi guys, I'm Goofy. You know me.
He's been casting on here a little bit before. Besides that, we've got Indie Bear. He's going to be on the stats, so
Radiant
you'll see a bunch of
team
stats
ban.
popping up from him. But we're casting the ESL New York, or ESL 1 New York, NA Open Qualifiers. Now there's two tiers of qualifiers for this event. So there's the Open
Radiant
Qualifiers.
team pick.
The top 4 teams, when it's all said and done, they get their spot into the main qualifiers, where you actually go and you try to, well, you fight out all the other teams for a spot at the main event, which of course is going to be in New York in the first week of October. I'm going, Goofy's going, Indy's going, we're all rooming together. We all went to TI and met up at TI as well, so that'll be a lot of fun for us. Besides that, we've got, well, like I said, 2 series tonight, 2 best of 3s. This first one's going to be Team TI, which we've casted a few of these guys before on the stream, but the team that they're going up against, Sector V or Sector 5, you may not recognize the names that they're using right now, but they're, as of a couple days ago, the old Not Today team, so Smash, Misko, Masuko, Stinger, Van, all those
10
guys. So
seconds remaining.
really, really good players. They're expected to win everything. So we'll see how
5
Team
seconds
TI can do
remaining.
against it, and we're going to have another challenger after this series as well. But we're already into the draft, so how about you get us caught up,
Radiant
Goofy?
team ban.
As I've,
Well, it's pretty much the most standard opening, I think, for this meta.
yeah,
Winter
that-
River picked up, making it through the bans, and the Shadow Fiend gets picked, of course. So
yeah, the initial 4
at least the
bands
team with SF
definitely.
didn't get dazzled.
Yeah, I said the first
10
4 bands
seconds
definitely what
remaining.
we saw basically all TI long. Shadow Fiend,
5 seconds
we saw him get
remaining.
picked a lot recently, but he hasn't had the most
Reserve time.
the best
You can
record
ex-
overall. He's been
You
losing
expect to see a
quite a lot.
Darkseer ban probably from
Yeah.
Radiant team.
No.
Darkseer Winter River's really strong. We'll see if they actually ban it though.
Yeah, it's one of those. I don't want to call it a gimmicky combos, but it's one of those combos that really synergizes well together. You vacuum them in and you use the Winter's Curse. It's very.
It's
very
essentially a
strong.
ranged black hole that you don't have to channel that kills one of your heroes. Like it's really strong if you land it.
Yep, so far we've got the Shadow Fiend and the Earthshaker. Expecting the Shadow Fiend to go mid, but of course that isn't always a guarantee, because you could put your Shadow Fiend in the safe lane, but it is a
Dire
Radiant
team
side
ban.
Shadow Fiend, so we'll probably see him mid because he has access to that that neutral camp so close to him. And the Earthshaker, he could be off lane, but typically when it's played with a Shadow Fiend, I like to see it more as support, because it's pretty good at
10
protecting the Shadow
seconds
Fiend, and it's
remaining.
also good for setting up early kills. You can actually fissure across the river
5
and still block
seconds
off the ramp,
remaining.
so that the enemy mid-hero can't retreat, and that allows Shadow Fiend to get early kills.
Reserve time.
Yeah, that's more than likely. I'd say in quotes like a PPD, like an Earthshaker. He's going to sit behind the Shadow Fiend and keep him safe. It looks like, though Dire don't have the most aggressive support, so we'll see what happens with that. Maybe Shadow Fiend will be fine on his own, and Earthshaker will be able to get some farm or do other things around the map. Maybe even gank for the SF.
Yeah, and unless they've gone too crazy with their draft, we do have both supports picked up already by Team TI. So I expect Dazzle to be kind of more the stay-at-home support. Winter Wyvern's probably going to be moving around trying to assist the mid if necessary, but he's typically not one of the better heroes. Certainly not as good as Earthshaker at doing that. We do
Yeah,
have... Go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
As a SF player, I really would like to see those 2 supports on the other team. So just because, especially now that you have this banning phase here to set up for your mid, like there's no clockwork now to kill you at 6, right?
Radiant
And these
team
supports
ban.
can't really gank you. There's no Lina, right? Like you're in a pretty good spot to just farm without much help, which means your teammates will be able to get a lot. It's really good to see the enemy supports are not aggressive when you're SF, but you know Winter Wyvern can be a little bit dangerous.
So I ask you that right now, and
10
what do you
seconds
think?
remaining.
Well, they got the
Huskar
ban
ban.
out, Huskar.
Radiant team
Are you
pick.
afraid of a Storm Spirit now? Because that's got to be one of the
Oh.
stronger heroes left in the pool. It's either Storm or Quap, right? To go up
SF
against
dominates
Shadow Fiend?
Storm 3-6.
Yeah, but we see a lot of players, even with them getting dominated mid, they just go to the jungle, and it's not even like the lane matchup even matters anymore. It's obviously easier when you're on the Radiant side, but we've seen a lot of Storms just kind of say, okay, well, Level 4, I'm going to
10
go jungle, and
seconds
I've got,
remaining.
you know, Winter Wyvern, who, like we said, may not be too aggressive, but he's going to be able
5
to sit there
seconds remaining.
and stack some camps for him. So do you think that will be an option, or?
All Storm's always an
Reserve
option.
time.
But what's interesting is the team with Wyvern actually banned Darkseer. I
Mhm.
think they thought that. I think they thought Radiant would ban Darkseer, and then they didn't want to play against it. Like, and then they it kind of like a situation where like, oh, we'll get rid of Darkseer because we'll pick Wyvern, they'll have to ban it, and then it didn't happen. That's my guess.
What?
But that's a lot of speculation.
What it could be is it could be that they want to play maybe a melee safe lane carry that they want to be able to leave alone and be doing a lot more of the stuff like stacking in the jungle, which Darkseer is going to be strong against. So maybe they just want to remove that because they knew that Sector 5 was going to have first pick coming out of the banning phase. So they figured remove it, and that still opens up the possibility to run something like an AM or there's a lot of heroes that fall into that role, but I don't know, maybe just opening up that possibility.
I suppose Radiant's gonna pick, or Sector 5's gonna pick range support or an offlaner right now.
10
That's my
seconds
guess.
remaining.
Yeah, I think. Wow. Okay.
What
We
the
saw-
hell?
We saw a couple
Fire
people in
team
chat saying Blood Psycho for a bit there, but yeah, we're
They
gonna
knew
see
them.
Blood
They knew better
Psycho.
than we did.
Of
Yeah. Queen of Pain is gonna get
Radiant
picked up.
team pick.
So it is gonna be the Quap versus the Shadow Fiend. Do you like that instead of the Storm? I don't know.
I think
fear of the
Quap.
Storm.
I think Quap was fine against us stuff. She's better pre-6. Not as deadly post-6 if SF gets his stuff. Like a stick and treads is really good for surviving.
Mm-hmm. And they seem like they already had that
10
decided.
seconds
Even
remaining.
with the Bloodseeker pick, they just picked the Queen of Pain immediately after.
The Quap, like, when one team picks the mid, the other team picks their
Dire
mid.
team pick.
And, like, before phase 2 bans, like, if your mid that you want makes it through, generally you're set to pick it at that point without showing anything extra, right? Because the other team's already picked their mid. Unless it's, like, something that can be heavily countered. But, like, in the situation they were in, they had, the other team had picked their mid, and Quap had survived the bans for them, so she's the obvious pick, I think, if they wanted her.
Well, now they're
10
going to have to be
seconds
playing
remaining.
up against 2 silences as Skywrath got picked up as well. So you got the
5
Bloodseeker
seconds
silence, you got the
remaining.
Skywrath silence. It's going to be tough. One thing that they do have going for them is the fact
Reserve
that Queen of
time.
Pain, if she moves, it's like a couple steps and then does a full range blink, she can actually move the max distance, max rupture distance without taking the damage. So they do have that going for them.
Yeah, it's one of those good old-fashioned Dota mechanics, right? Where it's like, you can never understand this unless you... Wow, that's not a
Okay.
problem.
Radiant team
So,
ban.
the 3 of us, myself, Indy, and Goofy, we were all on a team together. And we used to play Shadow Fiend a lot. And we used to play against Bricks when he was on No Earth Spirit. And they always used to pick their Templar Assassin and put it on Bricks
10
against us.
seconds
And he was always
I
really
played a lot of
strong with it.
SF, dude.
So-
I couldn't win that lane against Bricks. Bricks is pretty
5
good.
seconds
It
remaining.
will probably be Bricks on TA if we know their positions. Assuming our position, like our knowledge of their positions is correct, then probably Bricks
Reserve
TA.
time.
We're actually talking
5
about that
seconds
precast.
remaining.
That's interesting. That's good too, though, because like Skyrat's a good
team ban.
Quap counter. They picked their main support I was talking about, but Quap is not their mid anymore. It looks like so. I wouldn't say they've been baited into over countering or anything like that, but it's good that their mid is not countered by the Bloodseeker and the Skyrat mage.
10
Where do you think
seconds
lanes are at this
remaining.
point? Is
Well, I think he's got to have the Dazzle stay at home,
5
Winter Wyvern
seconds
kind of moving
remaining.
around as that support. Queen of Pain then's going to be in the off lane. Templar Assassin mid, and they're waiting to
Reserve
pick up
time.
their hard carry. As we see, Phantom Lancer got banned out, which I think would fit really well for them. As for Sector 5, it's a tough one. It might be Bloodseeker mid, Shadow Fiend safe lane
Radiant
with the
team
Skywrath, and then Earthshaker moving around, and then still waiting for their off laner, like Spirit Breaker gets banned out there. I think that could be a possibility, but you never know. It could still be Earthshaker off lane. But I think I think they're going to look for an off lane here. I think it's just better having the Earthshaker behind the Shadow
dual
Fiend.
lanes as well. Yeah, PPD style or Shaker just sitting behind his mid.
10 seconds remaining.
Especially like if they get in a situation, Storm. Okay.
Oh,
If they get in a
Dire team
situation where
pick.
they can leave both supports, like both supports can move away from the bottom lane and get behind the Shadow Fiend, like make that rotation quickly. The Earthshaker could be sitting there, but the Skywrath, if he rotates away quickly, they could just get a fissure into a silence into Shadow Fiend raises, and that hero's dead. Like, it's no matter what hero they put there, if it's the Queen of Pain or the Templar Assassin, which we figure it will be, it doesn't matter. That hero's just dead. And Dazzle's gonna
I
have to pick up
absolutely
the
love how
TP
greedy
really
this
early.
lineup is. Sector 5's lineup is deliciously greedy. I actually love it.
So
If,
I was thinking
I
they were
mean-
gonna pick up an offlaner. Does this? I guess this means Bloodseeker's gonna be in the off lane. And
it's Bloodseeker +1 probably.
Five
might even be the
seconds
three of them, dude.
remaining.
SF could be mid. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Okay, Bristleback's gonna be picked up here. Interesting.
I mean, he's good against the Radiant heroes, right?
So I think it's still gonna be Queen of Pain off lane with this then. And the
That's one
Bristleback,
draft. Like,
see?
nobody who doesn't know these teams could have called that draft, man. There's no
Yeah.
way. Like, it's absurd. I actually love it. It's gonna be an interesting game.
And we're still waiting on one player from Team TI to pick their hero, and it looks like it's gonna be a Bricks TA. So we called that one.
Yeah. I mean, Brick's got a good TA, man. It's gonna be interesting. The Shadow Fiend versus TA matchup is essentially predicated on the SF going Raise level 1, getting a quick bottle. That's one option, right?
Yeah.
And you can use Raise level 1 to double wave the TA and actually take control of the lane. If the TA lets you double wave around tower, she loses her refraction, then you hit her while she's last hitting, and it allows you to take control of the lane. It's really nuanced though. Like the TA doesn't have to let you do it. The TA can counterplay by going Side Blades level 1. Right, there's lots of, the lane's really complex.
Okay, well, before we get into too much analyzing here, let's introduce the teams and the players. I'll start off with Sector 5. Like I said, this is kind of the old Not Today lineup. It's going to be really, really difficult to know who's who, but I'll just call them by their names so far. So we're going to have 5. He's going to be playing the Shadow Fiend. We're going to have Shinky playing the Storm Spirit. Strange, or Stinger, I'm guessing, is going to be playing the Bloodseeker. Because I Can is going to be on the Skywrath Mage, and UPS is going to be on the Earthshaker.
Alright, and for Team TI, we have Bricks on the Templar Assassin. Unfortunately,
30 seconds
Winter Wyvern's
to battle.
Chinese characters. CG on the Queen of Pain. Chinese characters on the Dazzle, and Raven on the Bristleback. I believe one of them told us who they were, but I actually lost track. It's
Yeah, so
pretty complex, but the game's not ticketed.
The Winter Wyvern is going to be Kenny, and the Dazzle is going to be played by Shada, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Good notes, Nis. You're on top of it, man.
But looks like we had a little bit of movement there into the Radiant Jungle, just getting a
The
sentry
battle
ward up to block
begins.
the pull camp, and another ward that's going to just give them vision of the bottom room. And Radiant taking advantage of actually getting a vision across the bottom river as well. So they got an observer ward down there. And that will potentially create a situation where they may be able to gank the TA as he moves towards bottom rune. But that will still be, we'll still have to wait and see if they're able to do anything with that. SF
See what Shadow Fiend picks up at level 1 here. It's almost definitely going to be Shadow Race. Yeah.
Good call
And
there.
see, what he's going to try to do here is double wave the Templar Assassin.
So let's quickly look at our lanes, as we do have Shadow Fiend versus the Templar Assassin in the mid lane as predicted. In the top lane, it is going to be the Bloodseeker, and Earthshaker looks to be moving around. He was up there, but he's moving away now. And it's going to be up against the Winter Wyvern and the Queen of Pain. So the Queen of Pain up in the top. In the bottom lane, it's going to be the Dazzle and the Bristleback going up against the Storm Spirit and the Skywrath Mage. And judging on chat, looks like Van is going to be on the Storm Spirit, so I'll try to use the proper names. It's gonna be a little tough for me, guys, but bear with me.
So, what do you think of this Bloodseeker offlane, man? What do you think of that?
I've seen a lot of teams kind of experimenting with it. I've seen people certainly experimenting with it in pubs. I'm still kind of on the fence at how effective it will be, because it's one of those heroes that can get zoned out really, really easily. But at the same time, do you want to sit there and just devote so many heroes to zoning a Bloodseeker? Because even if you just have one support up there, if you're right-clicking the Bloodseeker, as long as he gets that last hit, then it doesn't matter that you even we're harassing him. You need at least 2 heroes up there to harass him back. So it's kind of one of those exchanges. Do you really want to zone him out that hard, or are you fine with him getting a little bit and doing other things on the map, such as the pulling that the Winter Wyvern's doing right now?
The nature of that hero is certainly that as soon as he gets his last hits, he goes back to full hit points. Like, it creates a bit of a problem. And I'd venture to say I haven't watched him too much in competitive lately, like after TI, but it seems as that if the hero gets his levels, and especially in a situation like this where you're throwing him off lane with no help, if he does get his levels, he's going to be effective, at least as much as they need him to do. He'll rupture someone and put the big silence down.
Yeah, it looked like we had a little bit of a battle for the bottom rune. Earthshaker got the fissure off, allowing him to get the bounty rune, and then Shada took a little bit of harass damage here on the Dazzle. And the top rune was actually taken by 5, which I believe is Smash. So he got the haste rune, and he's already up to 13 souls right now. Now it's actually missed that last hit. Still 13 souls, but he's doing all right so far up against Bricks here. They're pretty even in CS. 12 and 3 on the Shadow Fiend versus 10 and 4 on the Templar Assassin.
That's about as
Gank in the bottom
excellent as
lane.
we'd expect it to go. Aside from that, like one Sumail game that was ridiculous at TI, I believe it was. That was. Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be our first blood. UPS just made a rotation down through the jungle, laid a nice fissure down, and just trapped Raven on the Bristleback, which didn't have his Dazzle behind him. Of course, we saw the Dazzle at the bottom rune. He rotated all the way back up through the Ancient, so he was taking the long path around, and that meant that the Bristleback got fissured off there in the bottom lane. So a good rotation there, and now I didn't see it, didn't show it on the camera, but UPS actually denies himself to the neutrals. And typically that is intentional. He's just doing it to
that was 100% intentional. He bought out 2 clarities, working towards his soul ring as well. There's no way you're getting your mana back in ES with 16 intellect and like no items. So he's just denying himself, send himself back. He's got his boots because the Skywrath bought in the early game, so he'll be mobile around the map. Likely be sitting behind Shadow Fiend when TA hits 6.
Denied.
Here he's moving up here into the dire Ancients. You see this? He just warded the Ancients.
Yeah, they realize that's the Dazzle's going to be there stacking. That's how they're going to get the Bristleback back in the game. You notice right now, looking at the CS, this Bristle's only got 9 and 3 CS right now. They haven't stopped the Storm. The Storm's actually top on our CS right now at 23 and 11. So Van's doing a terrific job in this bottom lane.
The Shadow Fiend is really, he's doing his job in the mid lane. So it's good work, man. So much is predicated on that first wave, like I said. What do you think? What do you think's gonna happen going into mid game? Which team is gonna take the aggressive role? Because Sector 5 seems to have the greedy team. I think once TA gets going, perhaps Dire will try to push their advantage. It's certainly Radiant is favored late game, I believe.
Yeah, well, when we cast, well, I guess when I cast them in the Dota 2 Canada Cup, not today, or at least these same players that we're playing for not today, they really struggled with a lot of early game aggression, and that's where teams really took advantage of them. But as the game went on, they made really smart decisions. So I think they're just going to try to sit back and not lose early on, and abuse the fact that they've got this really greedy, kind of farm-oriented lineup. And it's funny that, you know, they're kind of weak to that, because when we played against Bricks in his old lineup, they were very aggressive early on, and they were constant about pressure, and setting the tempo of the game early. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to be able to do that this game. I don't think the lanes have gone exactly how they were hoping they would, so they're going to be a little bit on the back foot right now.
Without a doubt, they picked a lineup to push the pace, man. This is going to be aggression or bust, I think, from the Dire team. Just an interesting note: Shadow Fiend's picked up ultimate at level 6 here.
Well, there was a moment there where they were thinking of going on the bottom lane, but UPS choosing not to throw at the fissure there. He could have trapped Raven. I'm not sure if they knew that the Dazzle was off to the side in the trees, but choosing not to go for that. It's a little difficult when you do have, I think they had 3 creeps there, as well as you're doing it up against a Bristleback. If he can get a bunch of spines off, you're going to take a lot of damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think it's important for Radiant to just get their farm and defend their towers. Maybe contest is Dire. They've warded it though. I assume that means they're not too worried about it. They're not going to contest it. They're just going to let him get the double stack or whatever's there. Let him farm it if he wants to, and then just build their farm. I'm sure that if the Radiant gets off to a good start, they're going to be in a good position to win this game.
So, kind of coming back to this mid lane, we've got the SF going up against the TA. SS sitting at 37 and 15 CS, whereas the TA is only at 26 and 6. Has the TA done enough? Or is the Shadow Fiend's just winning right now? He's just kind of running away with the lane.
The Shadow Fiend is definitely winning right now. We'll see what happens with these traps, but he's in a really good spot, and without help as well. Like I said, the Earthshaker didn't need to sit behind him. He was able to get a kill in the bot lane because of, you know, we talked about in the draft, the dire supports weren't necessarily that scary in terms of ganking Shadow Fiend. They're making a small move on Bricks here, but they're just getting his refraction and dewarding.
Oh, look at that Kenny right behind him already on the Winter Wyvern, making sure that they're not going to be able to put too much aggression on him. But Bricks did eat double raises there, and his HP will drop back down. The thing that you always want to watch for in the mid lane with TA is actually TA's mana pool. It's a lot more important than the health pool, assuming she does have enough mana to get the refraction up or it's not on cooldown. But that's the main thing. You want to kind of burn through the mana pool first, and then you start working on the HP pool. And we see Bricks, he was actually completely and had to use all 3 bottle charges to get his mana pool back up. No.
How's this Bloodseeker performing in the offlane, man? 23 and 24 CS. It's really good, man. It's just excellent.
Tower is under
He's getting pretty much what he wants.
Yeah, he's now in the Radiant jungle, but that just kind of comes down to, like I said, do you want to devote so much of your support's time to really zoning him out? And they chose not to. They kind of moved around. They really protected Bricks in the mid lane with some of those rotations. So,
what's the typical item build for offlane Bloodseeker? What do you think he's going to pick up?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm guessing he's going to build into S and Y, but I'm not a Bloodseeker expert, nor am I going to pretend to know the standard builds on him. But do you have anything in mind that you think that he's going to potentially go for, or?
No idea, dude. I have absolutely no clue. That's what I was asking. Storm's doing great too, man. Look at that.
Some aggressive play in the bottom. He's actually going to ball lightning forward, and that's going to allow them to get the kill onto the Dazzle. But we do have some TPs coming in. The Skywrath's going to TP away, and they're going to keep chasing the Storm Spirit, who does have a little bit of mana left in his bottle to go for, but I think this is going to result in them diving. CG actually throwing out the Sonic Wave. I was a little slow on the camera there, sorry I missed that. But Raven is going to get kind of low, but the freeze is there, coming up from the Winter Wyvern. Now the silence coming out from the Bloodseeker, and that's going to allow them to get the kill onto Raven in the bottom. And while this was all going on, Smash got a kill in the mid lane onto Bricks, 1v1, so the TA taking a fall, and as a result of that, the tier 1 tower also going down.
That's pretty much worst case scenario for your Templar Assassin.
Wow. So, I guess kind of that whole situation just kind of resulted as a fact of them going just a little bit too deep past the tier 1 tower in the bottom. But it ended up working out for them. You know, it looked like there was potentially going to be the turnaround, but they made the right decision there. They actually got a nice TP off on the Skywrath Mage, who just kind of hid in the trees, and the Storm was able to jump far and far away. And they managed to stay alive long enough for the rotations of their own to come back and protect them. I'm not sure what happened in that mid lane, but I'm guessing Bricks just ate a couple raises there.
It appears Storm's going Orchid first. Not an uncommon build, but it's good in this game, I believe, because they just need to survive. And Silence is actually really good against, I think, both TA and Quap. And, you know, it's not bad against Bristle either. You know, it's not bad against any of these
certainly not
heroes.
bad against Bristle. It's not bad against Dazzle either. If you're going to jump on someone, you can always just Orchid the Dazzle so he's not able to get that grave off as well. That's always a possibility.
Clearly not.
Looks like Smash has actually picked up a Void Stone, so he's going to be working towards getting the Yule Scepter. I think I remember you not really liking that build anymore, the Yule's build.
I've never been a fan of it, but what do I know, right?
I think Sumail still used it at TI though. I think he used it once.
Yeah, he picked it up once. Yeah. At least.
We're gonna have a TP in here to the mid lane. UPS coming in behind Smash to kind of protect him.
Oh, this is insanely aggressive, dude.
Look at this. 2 TPs coming in from Team TI, and that's gonna force Smash to back away. As the Dazzle was the first one to TP on in, then the Queen of Pain. They definitely organized that and made sure that the Dazzle was TPing first. Fissure coming out. Oh, there's a nice grave. Sonic Wave's going to come out, drop Smash pretty low, but he's going to be okay with 64 HP. Echo Slam's going to come out, and that's going to finish CG right as the Shallow Grave finishes, and they actually are going to have to deny Smash there, as he did have a Shadow Strike on him.
Yes.
So that was
like a Midas, I believe, dude.
That was pretty ballsy, that play. The game went really far, and they're going far again in the bottom lane as the Storm Spirit jumping on to the Bristleback, and they're going to get the kill using the Mystic Flare from Because I Can on that Skywrath Mage, but Bricks with the TPN will get the kill onto the Storm Spirit, and now looks like it's going to be a double. Skywrath's going to go down as well. So nice TP there coming out from Bricks, punishing Sector 5 from just going a little bit too far once again on that bottom tier 1 tower. This time didn't really work out for them, but
the best hero, he is one of the best chasing heroes at this part of the game. Like, he'll catch you and he'll like one-shot you at this part of the game. So,
action the top as Fisher's going to come out, and that's an easy kill for the Shadow Fiend. Couple raises, and the Winter Wyvern just goes down. As Smash now number 1 on our net worth, 6,200 net worth for him, and Bricks is number 2 at 54.
Is under attack.
He's not that far behind, but he's pretty much dead even with Lutz Van on the Storm Spirit.
Is this a Midas on Bloodseeker?
Oh, Brick's in trouble in the mid lane.
That's a Midas.
Spilled.
Well, there we go. That's what Bloodseekers go. They go the Midas as their first item.
I knew we didn't know what his build was. I had a feeling that I didn't know what it was. I figured it out though. That's what I said. This hero just in this game he just needs his levels, dude. That's what it comes down to here. More so than he even needs the gold. He just needs his levels. So I was on the right track. I haven't seen much blood.
There's actually a deny on the top tier 1 tower there. So a good play coming out from the Quap, getting that deny, making sure that Sector 5 didn't get that extra gold. But they're all over the map right now. Look at how far this Skywrath Mage was able to be in the lane. Yeah, he's got a couple heroes behind that have shown, but they've since rotated away, and now the Sky's going to back away. I really like how we saw a couple times the Sky and the Storm have worked together with some of those dives, but they're not exclusively just staying together. Now we're seeing the Skywrath with the Earthshaker in the top lane, and they're going to use that combo right there as the Fissure, Silence, and Mystic Flare is going to drop CG on the Queen of Pain.
One thing I can tell you about having played some competitive is when your support duo goes that deep and gets a kill together and escapes, it's just one of the best feelings. Like, because that's the epitome of space creation right there. Like, your Earthshaker doesn't die, doesn't slow his blink down.
Oh, wow.
Watch out the mid lane here.
Yeah, we're gonna get so. I'll have to point that out in a second, but as we got action still going here, as Smash was the first to go down, but Raven's gonna go down as a result. So Smash was sitting there in Viz and just kind of standing inside everyone, trying to get a good ultimate off, but Raven actually noticed. He bumped into Smash while he was in Viz. He pinged it out, and his team was behind. They were prepared for it. They knew that Smash was going to try to open up for a quick kill there, and immediately the Grave came out from the Dazzle. So really good heads-up play there coming out from, well, I guess everyone on the side of Team TI. As CG got a kill in the top lane, so punishing the fact that the Skywrath Mage was that far out.
What I'm saying though is that when your supports get a kill like that, that's the action. What you choose to do with it is varies from game to game in every situation. But when your supports go that deep, kill an enemy core, and get out, it's like they're like James Bond. You know what I mean? Like they're really in deep. They're behind enemy lines and they just come out with like. It's just the best when that happens.
So we almost have this Orchid finished by Storm. Just needs the recipe to finish it all off. Bricks has a Yasha. Besides that, no other major item pickups just yet. I'm actually going to bring up our gold graph, see where we stand right now, and yeah, it is definitely a lead for Sector 5 right now. As they're about 8,000 gold ahead of Team TI. As for XP, it's about the same, 8,000 XP in favor of Spectre 5.
Yeah, I'd say Radiant's in a really dominant position right now. Unless you see a blowout team fight for Dire, the game may continue to go the way that it's going. TA's kind of starting to miss her timing, I feel like. She got the double kill, but it was a trade. She cleaned up a trade, and she doesn't seem able to They don't seem able to put much pressure on Radiant as a team. I don't want to put it on the TA.
Yeah, they certainly didn't come out of the lanes as good as they were expecting the Templar Assassin to. But Brix was still number 2 on the net worth. Then he got that double kill, and it was looking a little bit better for him. But still, he was definitely behind Smash. But since then, you know, Brix has fallen to 4th on the net worth, and now we see the top 3 all dominated by Sector 5. As the
What do you think
Storm
Dire
is
has
certainly getting
to?
active.
What do you think Dire should do here to try to climb out of the position they're in?
I guess the cop-out answer is always you just kind of go for a smoke and a pick-off, but you need to somehow get your Bristleback going in this game. He's just not that force that a Bristleback can be, and that's the problem with this hero, and now he's going to probably go down here again as Smash tosses him up in the air, then lets the Requiem fly. UPS there actually throwing down the Echo after they got the kill, but it's not going to matter. He ends up getting a kill with the Fissure onto the Winter Wyvern as well. So a double kill there for Sector 5 as now they're going to look to take this Tier 2 as a result of that. And oh, that's going to be a Blink Dagger for UPS with that extra gold that they just got from those kills.
Radiant's middle tower is under
But yeah, you know, going back to your question, we've got the Bristleback, and he just doesn't feel like he's that force that a Bristleback normally is. When a Bristleback can kind of get the ball rolling, he becomes really strong and hard to deal with, and that allows him to stick around in the fights, allows him to get a lot of spines off, deal a lot of damage. But when he's not able to throw those quills, he's not able to stick around in the fight for a while, then what is he? Like, he's not really providing much to the team in that situation. And then on top of that, you've got the TA that's struggling too. So you've got to find a way to get one of these 2 heroes into the game. Quap, a little bit out of the game too, but I don't think CG has actually been playing all too bad. He certainly has gotten picked off twice, but he's got 2 kills to his name as well.
Going back to what you said, Bristleback is definitely one of those binary heroes where like he either bullies or he doesn't, right? Like he never seems to be good in a situation where he's doing bad, but he seems unstoppable when he's doing good. It's just one of those things, you know. It's one of those heroes that really needs to have farm, or he really needs to be in the right situation, you know. And if he's not, he seems to get almost nothing accomplished. Yeah,
we're actually gonna have a gem purchased by the Skywrath Mage. So Sector 5. Despite the fact that there's no Invis heroes on the side of Team TI, they're just going to pick up a gem for map control, and they're going to really try to knock down any kind of vision that's going to be coming out from Team TI and really just kind of tighten the noose that they've already tied around Team TI's neck here. Yeah, the Earthshaker just a little bit ahead there for the blink timing, sitting at 2 minutes ahead of the average, so that's really good for him. And that's just
that's a really good average, actually, if you think about it, right? No, I'm just saying like the average time it's pretty impressive considering what UPS has here. Like,
yeah, it's one thing I always find really interesting about Earthshaker. I played a lot of Earthshaker, is the fact that it doesn't matter what the game time is. It seems like it's almost always, unless you're kind of rushing for it specifically and not picking up some of your more supporting items, you always get your Blink Dagger right around level 10. Right around that timing. Sometimes it's 9.5, sometimes it's 10.5, but right around that timing. And we see, even with them doing well, he's sitting at level 10 right as he picks it up as well. As we're going to see some action here as Shinky's going to get the kill there on the Storm Spirit, dropping the Winter Wyvern. Grave is actually going to have to be used by the Dazzle on himself, so that's something that you never want to have to do. But looks like they're not going to get the kill, and everyone's going to back away.
This is one of those situations where, like, if this happened in lane, it'd be a really quick tower, but it's going to take a minute now because of where that fight kind of happens. They're just going to look to take this tower off the map and probably threaten Roshan. That's what we're going to see from the Radiant team.
Well, we're going to get a jump here forward. They're just going to grab Bricks, and oh, they almost bring him down, but there's that Shallow Grave coming out from the Dazzle. Fissure's almost going to lock him down. Now the Blink and the Echo will finish off Bricks, and will they be able to drop Raven as well? They will. So it's going to be a double kill there for Sector 5.
Yules is back up here.
Look for more. CG is tossed up in the air. Instantly gets blown up by the Requiem as soon as he lands into the lap of Smash. And now we're going to have the Dazzle go down and the Winter Wyvern. It's going to be a 5-man wipe. And they're definitely not going to back away from Roche now, as they're gonna look to drop this tier 3, probably take the racks, and then I don't think they'll have time to Roche, but they might try it.
Tower is under attack.
The problem with going to Roche is you've got a couple heroes at half
Dyer's middle
HP.
barracks are
You've
under
got Storm
attack.
with no mana, Sky with no mana. So if you get stuck in a fight, you're not really in a prime
Dyer's
position to
structures are
fight. It's going to be a little
fortified.
tough.
Dyer's middle barracks are under
But
attack.
they will get the first
Dyer's
set of
middle
racks
barracks
dropped here in
has
the mid
fallen.
lane. And we're going
Radiant's
to have
bottom
Smash
tower
TP to the
is
bottom
under
lane, get a little
attack.
farm, as everyone else is going to TP away and back. So no Roche yet, but definitely a possibility soon.
I think Radiant recognized in the draft here that Dire had some passive supports. And, I said how much I love the greedy lineup in this situation, and it seems to be working out for them. We said we need 15 minutes, right? And the Dire team can't punish us before 50 minutes. They got their Orchid up. I think the Orchid was a great choice. In a way, it was like a defensive. It's an aggressive item, right? But in a way, it was a defensive choice. Instead of going Bloodstone or something like farmy, they picked Orchid to fight and survive. And maybe he goes Orchid every game, but it worked out especially well here. Just because they were able to create space instead of the Storm needing space. He's able to make so much of it.
Yeah, an interesting pickup here coming out from Smash is he actually finished as a Linkens. I saw the ultimate orb and I was just kind of expecting it to be a Scotty, but he finishes it, or builds it into a Linkens. That's a little bit different than we typically see.
Dire's going for the YOLO rush here, Ness.
And this is a good play, you know. You're definitely
This is
behind
good,
in this game, so you got to take a risk, and they're gonna be able to sneak Roche here. They get the Aegis. They're gonna put it on the Templar Assassin. That's gonna make them a lot stronger in the team fight. On top of that, right before they went for Roche, Bricks just finished his Desolator, so they're gonna have that going into the next fight. But like I said, we've got a Linkens now for Smash. On top of that, the Bloodstone was just finished by Van. So he's got that. It's, of course, still at 8 charges. But now we've got an S and Y for Stinger as well. Doesn't have it on his person yet. It's flying in on the Courier. But 3 brand new items coming out for Sector 5. And just 1 for Team TI. Actually, it's 2 as the Orchid finally gets finished by CG.
No, what do you think of this Orchid pickup on Crop? Oh, wow, we had a gank on Bricks again.
Yeah, Bricks is going to go down, and, well, there was that Aegis advantage, and unfortunately it's gone. And Smash is going to stick around for this, going to let the Requiem fly, and oh my.
Smash is so crazy, dude. I love that. I love when he does stuff like that.
Going to have the silence coming out from Stinger here. That's going to allow them to bring down Raven, as unfortunately the Dazzle had to back away, wasn't able to get that Shallow Grave off, and now Winter Wyvern gets dropped by a huge ball lightning coming out from Van.
He landed perfectly on his head, man. That's how Super Mario kills a Goomba, man. That was... He jumped in with no mana. His intent was to kill him with the ball lightning, and it worked out. And Storm doubles back for the Bloodstone this game, and I like that. Pretty much secures the late game.
Dyer's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, that moment where Smash actually killed Bricks, that was actually really smart of him. He realized the fact that Refraction had already been used by Bricks, so as soon as he came up, he wasn't going to have Refraction available, so he just let that Requiem fly. And honestly, I didn't think he was going to one-shot him, but he did, and
Dyer's
great pick off for them. That's going to allow them to bring down the majority of the HP on this Tier 3 tower in the top lane, but not going to allow them to finish it off just quite yet. Oh boy. Sector 5, they've actually smoked up, and they're just going to hang around in the top lane. Smash actually just showed it. And he needs to be careful. He's got
Dyer's just holding on right now.
Bottom lane, they will find a kill. Stinger and EPS are going to find a kill. They're actually going to find a second as they're going to drop Shada. And now
Smash is at their tier
Van
4s, man.
just jumping in from Africa. As Willie be able to get a kill, doesn't look like he's going to have to back away. We did have a buyback coming out from the Dazzle. And Sector 5's fine with that and said, you know what, we'll just back away. We'll reset the fight. We may even back all the way to our fountain, get our HP and mana back up. We just burned through one buyback. We can do it again.
This is patience. I don't think they need anything but patience to win this game at this point, though. They just need to be tactical. I said I favored them late, and the early going like this, I definitely favor them late. So I think they just need to keep it smart and just end the game. By choking the Dire team out.
Absolutely. It's definitely their team to lose.
Their game to
or
lose,
their game
yeah.
to lose, sorry. Their team to lose. It's definitely their game to lose, and we're going to see a smoke coming up from Team TI. They gotta get something done. As they've got the Courier just sitting here with the smoke. And if you look at the drawing on the map coming out from Smash, he's saying we got to push mid, we got to push bottom, get both those lanes pushing, and try to tie Team TI up in their base. As they will pop the smoke, and they're going to run right in to Sector 5. They're going to initiate onto the Skywrath Mage, but there's more heroes in behind. Grave already getting used onto CG. We'll let the Sonic Wave fly. We'll hit 2, hit Smash, and because I can. So the Skywrath going down. There comes the Requiem from Smash. Will they be able to get a kill here? Looks like Raven's going to go down. Nope, he gets frozen by the Winter Wyvern. Bricks sitting on low HP as well. Smash will go down, but he will trade his life with CG. Now Bricks getting another Grave. I swear that thing's got way too short of a cooldown, but that's actually the first fight that's gone well for Team TI. They got 3 kills, they got the gem. Not bad.
Shiki was just casually jungling right here during that fight, dude. You see how the camp's down? He's just hanging out while his team was in the dire jungle. I wonder if he was trying to finish something. It doesn't look like it. It looks like they're just really confident and getting ready to end the game out. And unfortunately, a fight doesn't go their way.
He was almost done his Yule Scepter.
It appears that the Radiant team strategy is to give Shiki, is that his real name, or what's the player name?
That's Van.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, to give Van the Bloodlust and then allow him to Super Mario Goomba stomp the enemy team with Ball Lightning. It was actually, do you see how much damage that just did? It was
ridiculous. Wild. Oh my god, UPS even gets the TP. And then we're going to get a suicide coming out from Van, so maybe they went a little bit too deep for that kill on the Winter Wyvern, but
they really like that combo. You can tell, dude. They're having a lot of fun with that, I think.
Yeah.
It looks like fun.
Is under attack.
But Sector 5 looking pretty good to close this one out. I want to remind everyone this is a best of 3, so we will still have at least one more game left in the series. And we will be following the winner into the next round. Well, they'll be playing the winner of Maximum Idiot versus Team Imagine. Team Imagine, of course, being the old Leviathan. Basically the entire Leviathan roster. With they basically just replaced Shredder.
Minus Shredder.
Yeah.
Minus Troll Warlord, dude.
Oh, Echo's gonna hit 3 here and there. Once again, Van. How is he so good with these ball lightnings? He just keeps killing heroes with it. Never missing, and looks like he's gonna get another kill here. Gem exchanging hands a few times there, and Raven's gonna go down as well. GG will get called as well, Sector 5 takes his first game. Like I said, it is best of 3, so we will have one more. As Team TI is going to have to look to rebound and get themselves back in this for Game 2.
That was definitely a silly last 5 minutes of that game. That was absolutely fun to watch.
It almost had a little bit of a pub feel to it because of the ganks happening all over the place, and we never really saw full 5-on-5 team fights, but that's kind of what happens when a team is so far behind like Team TI. You've got to kind of spread yourself thin on the map, take some risks, and Sector 5 was just there to punish every single time. So good on them for being able to close that game out, not throwing. 29.5 minutes. Certainly quicker than I was expecting them to be able to close that game out with the lineup they had. But they definitely had a pretty solid early game and kept the ball rolling. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for this game. We're going to be in the second game in just a minute, so feel free to go grab a drink and join us for Game 2. Once again, I'm Niz. Joining me was Goofy, and Indy Bear was on the stats. And we'll be back in a second. There it is on the screen. Thank you, Indy.
See you in a bit, guys.